let's take a look at this awesome new mod here from DCS. Yep, we're flying the UH-60 Lima. You can't help it. It's one of my favorite aircraft. And yeah, what are we going to do? Let's go fly this thing. So there's a lot of videos on how to start this thing. Um, we'll go through the basics as I just run through it. Generators, battery on. Let that spool up for a moment. APU on. Let that bring life to the aircraft here. Alright. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Turn on. Trim. Get our fuel set up. Go ahead and get engine 1 ready to start. Or engine 2 rather. Don't worry, I'll close the doors here in a moment, but I want to make sure you guys can hear the actual aircraft starting up. Unfortunately, the external audio from the external views is a little bugged at the moment. It's not correct, so we'll refrain from doing any externals while in flight. Essentially holding the ignition until I see the center green bar jump. Get engine 1 up and running. While those are stabilizing, we'll take a look around the cockpit here. They've done a really good job at modeling this. It's absolutely great. I mean, for a free mod, you can't get much better, really. And I know they're going to be working on it continuously. Several known bugs that they've already got aware of, so that's really cool. Engine 1 is stabilizing. Go ahead and turn on the rest of this while that's stabilizing. So this is irrelevant for what we're doing today, but it is good to turn it on. And apparently with the cold start, the RWR does not function correctly, so we'll forgo doing that. We will leave the tail wheel locked off for taxi. Now that we're up and running with the engine power, we'll go ahead and turn the APU off. Lean over here and try to get to these lights over here, but it's that's the only thing with this. It's a little tricky to get to some of the settings here, so you do your best with it. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing up to full power, then I'll go ahead and close the door so you can hear me better. Sorry about that, I had to look for my knob. Oops. Apparently I was in a hot jet last. Go ahead and get it up to full power, rolling the full throttles forward to flight position. Let that stabilize. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the door. Now you should be able to hear me a whole lot better. If you've been messing with this aircraft in the last week or so that's been out, let me know what you guys think. It's pretty phenomenal. A lot of really cool features for a first release. Really, it's awesome. There's definitely some known issues with the flight model, and I think they're already working on that, so that's good to know. Let's go ahead and ease a little bit of power in, start our taxi out of here. Easy on the power. Flying out of Ofarodi on Guam, just next to the naval base here, or naval yard, I should say. It's a cool little spot to use for helicopters. It's a neat one. Unfortunately, it's not functional on the map yet, to where you can actually use it as an air base, unless you make a invisible FARP on it, which is doable for refueling and such. Alright, let's go ahead and set here. Go ahead and lock the tail wheel. Light caution light over here. Stabulator. What am I missing here? Oh, there we are. Where is it? The automatic control. Here we are. There we go. So one thing I've been getting used to is the difference in the trim setup that they use on here, which is a bit, you know, it's different. That weren't what we're used to with the Huey, so it's yeah, still working on how to explain that best. But what I've been doing is I've been giving the trim hat a few aft clicks, 3 to 4 aft clicks before liftoff, and it does make it a little easier. Here we are, getting the air stabilized here. Ooh. Here we are. Coming from the Huey, it does take some getting used to. It's a lot more powerful. Actually, my trim was set up a little bit too far aft, so we'll tap that forward just a tad. Once I get stable on about a 15-foot hover, I don't touch the collective again. I'll use the translational lift to get out of here, so we'll just ease the stick forward, start getting airspeed, and we'll actually start to climb on our own. At that point, you can actually let the ease off the collective just a little bit if you're climbing too fast. I'm not going to try to get too terribly fast here, because we're going to be coming back for a pattern landing. That's where we're going to be ending the video there at that parking space right over there. Lap around the Navy Yard here to get back into pattern. And try to slow down. One thing you definitely have to do with this, at least at this point in the game, it's And this is version 1.0, so this is going to get changed. Because you really got to be careful on your descent rate. If you come in too fast, it will bite you in the butt. It's it takes some getting used to for sure. But one thing I've found out that works to help alleviate some of that is if you just add a little bit of collective, not a lot, on your way in. When it does start to shudder, you'll actually hear it, and we might be able to. Well, hopefully I won't have that encounter, but if it does, we'll react to it. I'm easing off the collective here. We'll start slowing down. Flying around the Navy Yard here. Don't want to get too slow. I'm aiming for about the center of the cross runway. There is where I'm going to be pulling to a hover again, and then parking in the parking space, hopefully. I have not tried the air-to-air refueling yet with this. It is doable if you equip it with the probe. It's just one of those things that you just don't see often. Oops. Nor is it needed for a lot of the missions that we do on the server that I do a lot of my mission building for. So we may or may not utilize that often. We do have it on our training server currently. Start to ease that power in. Drifting a little bit to the right there, not like I wanted to. The forward visibility is definitely to be desired, so you have to kind of use your best judgment on what you see from the sides. When you're coming into a small landing zone where you need to be precise, you kind of have to plan it ahead of time. And just like anything with DCS, it just takes some practice. And but it is really cool to actually have this aircraft in DCS. I really hope this team does a really good job in the future with updates. And it seems like they're very active on their Discord, which I'll link in the description. There's that other aircraft there. Dump it. Came in a little bit sideways there. Luckily I saved it, but yeah, it's a great fun and really well done. Heck of a job, guys, for the team that made this, and look forward to flying it a lot more and expect a lot more videos on it. I've been building some really cool single-player missions for it as well, and that's been fun. But we'll be using it for sure on the servers before too terribly long for the age group DCS Huey. We're all about the UH helicopters, and this is just an upgrade for us, so it's pretty cool. Alright guys, we'll appreciate you sticking around, and sorry about the delay in videos. It's been an interesting holiday season with some vacation trips and so on going on. So, alright, everybody have a good one, and stay safe out there.